Alright guys, welcome back to your 12th tutorial. Now as promised, from this tutorial onwards we'll be making our very own snakes and ladders game, right? So as you might already know, there are many compilers available for C++. Till now we have been using Dave C++, but there's one problem with Dave C++. It does not seem to function properly while dealing with graphics, right? So what we are going to do is we'll go ahead with Turbo C++. Now Turbo C++ is the one in which I originally made the snakes and ladders game, right? So here's the link. Go ahead, click on Turbo C++ and hit download button at the top right. Your download will start automatically. The installation is very basic, so download it and install it. You don't need to do anything else. After you have installed, you will get an icon on the desktop and just go ahead and open it, right? So as I told you already, I originally made several different programs, right? So I made a program for the first screen. I labeled it as home.cpp. Then I made another program for the second how to play screen, right? Then I made another program for the board which was there in the final thing, right? And then I copied all of these programs and I made a final C project thing, right? So I'll what I'm going to do in this and the next tutorial is that I'll not actually write anything. I'll just guide you through the original code, right? So it will save both our time. All right, so let's get started then. In this one we'll be dealing with home and how to play, and in the next tutorial we'll be making the actual board and finalizing the project, right? You already know about iostream.h and conio.h. Right now stdio.h stands for standard input output. This is needed for this function right here. It's called clr for clear screen. Whatever text or whatever is on the screen, this function clears it. If suppose we have something from previous function or something, so this will clear everything, right? Then graphics.h. Now obviously since we are dealing with graphics, we need to use the graphics functions. The best part of C++ is that almost all the functions which are needed for graphics are already predefined, so we do not actually need to create separate functions for everything, right? So next thing is GD. Now this line and this line, they are the basic prototype of the graphics program, right? So whenever you want to make a graphics program, just go ahead and type the first and the third line, right? That's the basic syntax. Now GD stands for graphics driver and GM stands for graphics manager, right? So detect is another keyword which tells this GD to start functioning, right? Now init graph is initialize the graph. Graph basically represents a 640 by 480 screen in Turbo C++. So we'll pass the address of driver and manager and the location of the BGI file. Now BGI file is what actually contains the basic graphics, basic graphics, right? All the functions in this particular header file. Okay, so let's begin then. Set bk color here stands for set background color. Bk is for background, and whatever color we give within these brackets is set as the background color. Now make sure guys, C++ is case sensitive, right? So if I write red in capital and I write red in small, so there's a big difference in both the cases, right? Now set color. Now set color is basically it initializes the color yellow for all the statements which follow it till we put another set color, right? So what will happen is all this text here which we're going to print will be in yellow in color, right? So set text style basically is to modify the text style. This is font, this is the location of the text, and this is the size. Now let me tell you one cool trick. Just go ahead, hit the help menu and hit index, right? So it is set text style. Just go ahead and type set text style, right? There we go. Just double click on it, and this is the best part about Turbo C++. You can actually get to see all the details about this function. So it tells us that set text style is a function which is in graphics.h, right? And this is the declaration. The first thing which we write here, that is 8, is the font. The direction is 0 and the size of the characters is 7. Alright, now it's confusing. How is the direction 0? Just scroll down and you will get the answer, right? 0 is for horizontal and 1 is for vertical direction. So since we are going to print it in horizontal line, so we'll put 0, right? Again, you can have different character size values. We have put 7 in this case, up to a limit of 10 times the normal size. There we go. So as our text is basically going to be 7 times this particular text, right? It even gives you a sample program to try out, so that you get to know about the function. So that's the basic thing about Turbo C++. You can go ahead, click index and search any function you want. You get everything related to it. All right. So that means the font is whichever font is defined at 8. You can find a list of the fonts again from the help section. 0 is for horizontal and 7 is the size of the text. Now instead of cout in graphics, what we use is out text xy. Now as the name suggests, out text will basically print the text and xy are the coordinates. So this line will print the text at 25 comma 50 in a normal graph point, normal mathematical graph, and it will print snake starting from this point till whatever the length is, right? Similarly, this will print an ampersand symbol, or basically and, at this location. Again, this will print ladders at the point 325 comma 250. It will start from there and go ahead, right? So that's basically for snakes and ladders. Then again we are changing the color to cyan for the snake, which is a shade of light blue, so something like this one, right? Then set line style, again solid line, line width and size. You can go ahead, you can again check the help section for this. Set line style, there we go. See, line style, it's up pattern and thickness. Again, you can scroll down and you can find what actually the style and all represents by this example. All right, so just go ahead and see, have a look at it. Now arc is basically for I'll show you what arc is for, right? See, the snake, our snake is actually two semicircles, right? So that's what arc is for. Arc is basically in this case I am using it for semicircles, right? So here's one arc, then here's another arc. All right, the first one is a bit thicker one, as you can see in the output screen. The circle is for its neck, and the line is its mouth basically. Again, put pixel is its eye. Put pixel basically highlights one particular pixel. So these are the coordinates of the pixel, and this is the color of the pixel which is needs to be highlighted. Again, line is x1 x2 y1 y2, basic mathematical coordinates. Circle is the coordinates comma radius, right? So the best thing to work do while working with graphics is to actually take a sheet, draw a graph, and draw everything which you want to make in your program, and literally calculate the coordinates manually and then put them in. That is the best way to do it. What we did is we took a A3 size sheet. We drew the entire 640 by 480 pixels graph as big as we could, and we made all the snakes and ladders, and we wrote all the coordinates of its mouth, tail and everything, and then finally we wrote this thing, right? So if you do that properly, this will basically save your time for finding out if the circle went somewhere else, if the mouth is on the tail instead of the neck and all that stuff, right? So it's basically pretty interesting to make all this, provided you have a lot of time to do it, right? Because it's a lengthy process, which I'm sure you have, right? So go ahead and maybe you can write your name on the screen with different fonts and sizes or something, right? Again, to draw the line, line is basically the ladder in this case. So set color, again we'll change the color to green, and again x1 x2 y1 y2, x1 x2 y1 y2, there we go. So one we will draw two lines, two vertical lines and three horizontal lines, right? So after we have made all these lines and all, what our code will be is, obviously it will look like this thing right here, right? So there's the ladder in green, two vertical, three horizontal lines, the snake with one circle, one line, one pixel and two semicircles, and the text snakes and ladders, and the background color is red, right? So that's what this code is going to do. Alright, so now that we are done with the home screen, let's move on to how to play screen. Now how to play screen is, we basically kept it very simple, right? As you might have seen, I'll show you to you once again. That's basically the how to play the game screen, right? So in this we haven't used any graphics, right? It's just simple cout statements. Just to make it a bit interesting, we have just used underscore here for the line and everything, right? We have put a few slash n here to make the note thing appear at the bottom. So because working with graphics is a very tedious and lengthy task, so you can even use simple cout statements to make your job done, right? So that's what how to play screen looks like. Let me just quickly revise it once again for you guys. Set bk color is for the background color. A gd is graphics driver. Initialize graph command. What initialize graph does is it basically starts the graphics thing, right? Then again, set color is for whatever color you want in the statements following it. It will be that color unless and until you change this color by using another set color thing. So there we go, that's basically it for this screen, right? So now that you have a clear idea of how these two screens are made, I recommend you to go ahead and try out this code, right? So in the next tutorial I'll tell you how we actually made the checkerboard for the numbers and everything, and then I'll tell you how to make that a die appear on the space and random number generation and all, right? So that's basically it for this tutorial. Go ahead, try this thing out, try a few graphics, try displaying your name etc on the screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one.